What's up, guys? We got an unbox here that we're doing. I need to get YouTube Red because it's not letting me do videos longer than 15 minutes, and that actually pisses me off because sometimes I would like to do some videos longer than 15 minutes. I'm actually having to redo this video because it went over the 15-minute mark and I wasn't paying attention. But what we have here is another unbox video. We got the Hawker Tempest. I've already gone through it a little bit. I pulled it out some. I was just like going over some of these props that come with them. These things are massive, man. These are massive props, man. Those got to make a lot of noise when they start up. This is my first prop plane. I've opened up a couple of the little boxes here. The decal sheets over there. I'm actually working my way into the next set of boxes here, and I think this is the last box, and I think this is going to have the wings and the tail section and stuff like that in it. Yeah, these are the wings. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty big bird, guys. I wasn't expecting this bird to be this big. This is actually going to be a pretty big bird, man. It's going to be a decently sized aircraft. So I was out the other day. I did a flight video, Tyler's flight video, and he did well. He flew it well. He did pretty decent, and I had an issue with my F-16. One of the clasps for the elevator came loose from the foam, so I wasn't able to fly my F-16, and I was absolutely livid. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to fly something. So I took out my little F-22, my Banana Hobby F-22, and I threw it up right into the damn sun. And I got blinded for several seconds, 5 to 6 seconds. And I just caught a glimpse of the plane, and I thought, oh, I got to pull up and get it out of the sun. Well, the damn thing was upside down, and when I went to pull up, it went into the ground. So this thing went nose into the ground like this, and it stuck into the ground. And the reason that nose did not break off is because of those carbon fiber rods I have inside, man. I have that nose crash proof. So it's pretty important that you should do that too, especially planes with noses on them like that. And I brought it home, looked over it a little bit, and then I plugged the battery in, turned the radio on and plugged the battery in, and then I went to fire up the engine, and I guess one of the wires came loose from the engine, and it was touching the metal housing, and it caused the engine to cook. It melted the inside of the plane a little bit. It put a burn hole in my counter, but I was just thinking how I was going to fix that. So I bought 2 brand new ESCs, Manti ESCs, 45 amps, and I'm just going to put the Change Sun EDF units in them. That's going to give them a ton more power. It's going to sound better. They're going to sound way better. But here we have the Hawker Tempest, the Dynam Hawker Tempest. I was just saying how this pilot here, it actually looks like a British pilot, because the last time I got a Dynam plane, it was the ME-262, and they sent me this guy. He looks like a British, Hawker Hunter pilot, But I was thinking about this plane historically. This is one of my favorite planes historically, guys. This one and the P-47 are 2 of my favorite planes from back in the day. These planes are pretty nice. But then I also had a couple of planes that I liked on the Russian side too, and the Germans. I like the Focke-Wulf 190 A5s. I like the Focke-Wulf D9s. I do like the BF-109s. I like the K4, BF-109 K4. I like a lot of the Russian planes too. I do like the Yak 3P, not the Yak 3, but the Yak 3P with the 20 millimeter nose-mounted Schwach cannons. That is by far my favorite Russian plane, I think, besides the MiGs. They used to tell the BF-109 pilots and the Focke-Wulf pilots, if you see that plane, and the way you would tell is right here on a Yak 3, they'll have this little opening down here, kind of like this Tempest does, but not as big. It looks like a little smiley face, actually. And the Yak 3P does not have that. It's got its cooling thing underneath. Its radiator opening underneath the plane. And they said if you saw a Yak without that smiley face, get the hell out of Dodge. Don't even mess with it, because that thing will chew you up. It had a huge advantage. It was faster. It turned better. It had a very, very, very good turn rate. It could outmaneuver pretty much every plane in the sky. Actually, it could outmaneuver every plane in the sky, except for some of the lower tier Spitfires, the Griffin Spitfires. Not the 22 or the 24, because the Yak 3 can actually even outturn those. You did not want to get into a turn fight with a Yak 3P, and not to mention, it had nose-mounted cannons, which means you needed no cannon convergence. With wing-mounted guns or cannons, MGs or cannons, you have to set your convergence. Your convergence can be set from anywhere from 50 meters out to 400 or 500 meters out. And you have to make sure that you have the plane that you're shooting at in that range so that your bullets or your cannon rounds are on target. With nose-mounted cannons, you don't have to worry about that. They can be 300, 500, all the way up to 50 meters away. And those cannon rounds are going to stay in a straight line. There is no convergence on where the guns converge or the cannons converge. They shoot out in a straight line like silly string. And then some of them, depending on if you're hot on the cannons, they can start scattering a little bit, but then you just have to get off your guns for a minute and let them cool down. Once those barrels cool, you can start shooting them accurately again. But that plane was absolutely devastating. Nobody wanted to mess with that plane. That plane shot down a lot. The ones that they did have active would shoot down a ton of German aircraft. I mean, that plane was an absolute monster in the sky. And it was actually one of the smallest planes. It was very small. There weren't a lot of them, but the ones that they did have were very, very good planes, and they always let their best pilots fly them. But here in front of us, we have the Tempest Mark V, not to be confused with the Tempest 5, which is which was the one that came out after this one. It kind of looks a little bit like the Sea Fury. Actually, the Sea Fury and the Tempest Mark V, the Tempest 2, not to be confused, the Tempest Mark V and the Tempest 2 are two different planes. The Tempest 2 is the Sea Fury. The Sea Fury is the Tempest 2. So the Tempest 2 and the Sea Fury are the same exact planes, except for the Sea Fury is the naval variant of the Tempest 2. But here in front of us we have the Tempest Mark V, which was by itself a really, really nice plane, a really good plane. You can always tell the difference between a Tempest 5 and a regular Tempest 2. The Tempest 2 does not have this radiator cooler underneath. Doesn't have this there. This is gone. So this is what the Tempest 2 would look like with a slightly wider nose here. That's what the Tempest 2 would look like. The Tempest 5, the Tempest 2. Tempest 5, Tempest 2. But I was going to get the P-47, the 1500 millimeter one. That's the one of the FMS. That's a really, really nice plane. I like the way they designed that thing. And I told my old lady, I said, I'm going to order the P-47. Well, she's like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean no? She never tells me no, I can't buy a plane. I mean, come on now. I mean, never, ever has she once said no, you can't buy a plane. So I was like, well, what about the other P-47, the 1700? What about that? She said, no, you can't get a P-47 at all. I said, well, can I get any plane? And she's like, I don't give a shit what you get. I don't care. You just can't get the P-47. So my birthday is in a couple months, and I'm imagining that the reason I cannot buy the P-47 right now is because she's buying it for me for my birthday. So I did not buy the P-47, which is what I wanted to buy. So I was looking at all the other planes that they had, and it was a toss-up between this one and the Sea Fury that they have up there. And I decided to go with this one, just because I like it a little more than the Sea Fury. This plane historically saw way more time than the Sea Fury did. So, and the only other prop plane that I would even think about buying is the P-47, 1700 or 1500, I don't care which one. I actually almost bought the Dynam P-47 just to fly it a little bit before I got the bigger P-47, but I figure a prop plane is a prop plane. Maybe not. I don't know. This is my first prop plane, so we'll see. But this is it, guys. I tell you what I'm going to do. I was going to do a build video on it, but I'm just going to do what I normally do. There's a ton of build videos out there on this plane. This one in particular is actually a pretty easy plane to set up and build. So I'm not going to waste your time with a build video, but what I will do for people that watch my channel is I'll go ahead and build it, and then I'll do a video of it done like I normally do. So I'm going to go ahead and get on that. I'm going to go ahead and build this thing. Sorry about the history lessons, but I just love old school aviation. I love aviation, period, but my center point, the center stone of my liking of aviation is back in these days, man. Back the old Spitfire days, Bearcats, P-51s. I mean, you name it. I love airplanes completely. Just everything about them. I mean, from modern jets all the way back to old school biplanes. I mean, just the MC-202. I mean, that's early German planes. I mean, just everything that has to do with aviation. I'm just an aviation buff. I just love everything about it. But I wanted to get more into the prop planes because prop planes is where I first started with my infatuation with planes, was prop planes. My uncle had a crop duster back in the day, and it was a sweet little biplane, and it was sweet, and I loved it, and I got to fly in it, and I thought, geez, man, this is just the greatest thing that I've ever done, is be inside of this plane and flying in it with my uncle while he's crop dusting. So my infatuation with planes is more or less prop planes. I started off with EDF jets when I started my RC career, you could call it, my RC hobby. I actually started with jets, which was probably not the smartest thing to do, but I did anyways. And I've gotten really good with the jets. So I'm actually going backwards here, flying the prop plane second. So we'll see how it goes. I know there's some certain things that are different about prop planes than jets, but we'll try to get it worked out, and we'll try to figure it out. I definitely am excited about learning how to fly the prop planes and learning everything that there is to know about RC prop planes now, and this will be my first one, so I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and build this thing. I'm not going to decal it because I'm not sure if I'm going to put my own paint scheme on this thing yet, but I am going to go ahead and put it together. I'm not going to put the decals on it yet, but I will hit you guys back as soon as I have it built. I will put up another video on the finished build. Like I said before, there's a lot of build videos out there, guys, and then Motion RC does a really good one. So if you want to see a good build video on this plane, I would check out Motion RC's build video. I think Mike or Brian or Ryan, Pilot Ryan, he does the build on it, and he does a pretty damn good job on it, dude. And he's very thorough with it, and he'll get you set up good with building it right. I don't even need the instructions for this. I've already watched his build video, so I'm just going to do what he did in his build video. I'm going to put it together, and then I'm going to hit you guys back with another video after it's all built. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. We always appreciate it. Me and Tyler always appreciate all the views that we get from you guys, and all the thumbs up, all the likes. So just keep them coming, and we'll keep buying planes, and we'll keep putting them together, and we'll keep going out and flying them for your entertainment. So we'll keep up the good work here, and you guys keep up the good work on your part. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you guys back soon. Later.